I was drinking water. Listen, stream. I was like, yeah, I should probably unmute and like interact with stream, and I was like, but wait, hydration. I, it's so wild. I've talked before about like how I usually have no interest in diets, largely because like a lot of stuff you'll find about it, published from like magazines and everything, is just back and forth all the time. I'm not even calling it fake. I'm more just saying like they're constantly finding different stuff about it, and with it changing so frequently, I see no reason to actually try and figure it out unless I'm, dying. But like I heard the other day about like because you can overhydrate. I overhydrate a bit every now and then, like maybe once a week, where you're just taking in and putting out pure water, baby. And I saw a thing about like, well, the body can actually only process about 1 liter of water every hour, and I was like, so what? So do we need to drink the most amount of water in order to, stay alive, or do we have to drink incredibly, you know, middling amounts of water? So that way our body isn't just like a full power hose blasting nonstop. Which is it? Dr. Pepper is better than what? I hate to tell you this, Stealth, but most scientists and also your body would probably disagree with that. In fact, Stealth, I would be so bold as to say that your body probably doesn't want Dr. Pepper at all. The brain does. Body, no. I'm about to say, what were we doing on this the other day, last night? Well, they're cringe. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. Also, it's good to see you, Stealth. My good friend Stealth, who I enjoy seeing. Good friend. Man, I woke up far earlier than I should have today. And that was a problem, honestly. Because, like, sometimes you wake up early and you just realize, like, oh no, I needed more sleep. And that was me today, but there's nothing doing about it, you know? Sometimes you just wake up and you're up. And the body doesn't care that it's your issue now. It decides, I am tired, but we are up now. No sleep, only tired. Apple bottom jeans. And boots with the fur. But yeah. Outside of being tired, finished up Tears of the Kingdom just before this stream. Finished that on up. What else? Saw Deja, they came over to the place I'm dog sitting at. So that's a neato. And that was mostly it. I did take small nap throughout the day, so just one small nap to try and recharge the slightest bit. Uh-oh. Wrong layer. You know what? I'm gonna turn down the AC real quick. I had it up because Deja's oh, Deja is easily cold, so I need cooler air. Cold, refreshing taste of Dr. Pepper. I return. I will say, I mean, I guess I just need to get better at doing things like, TikToks and other advertisements and everything for my streams, because, I don't know, I'm trying to get that growth, but it ain't really happening for me, so I'm like, what can I do? Ask not what Cahill Comics can do for you, but what you can do for Cahill Comics. Famously, Teddy Roosevelt said that. And I think we should listen to the inventor of stuffed animals, if I'm being honest, so. But that's just me. Do the do. Yeah, that too. He also said that a lot. Teddy Roosevelt was about Twitch streamers, Mountain Dew, and stuffed animals. And by God, he was one of the greatest leaders this nation ever had. Rest in peace, my guy. I'm very lonely. I would say, would you like to hang out in this VC stealth, but I know you want to play games and Fortnite. I mean, you can always play your Pokemons here, if you wish. I just won't be able to watch, unfortunately. But I'd have no problem with talking to you in here. Of course, that is up to you, which is the main thing. I cannot force you to be okay with being on stream. Unless the coveted swine and my dad. Oh, those are also my friends. I love my friends for that. I believe they'll come, and maybe Alphonse, I believe. Hello, Riku, what's up? Currently, I gotta make this pose look pretty decent. I gotta make it look like a leg. Leg. Ask your doctor if a leg breath is right for you. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just trying to... What can I do, chat? What can I do to really get stream to take off for me? The epic drawing session. Well, tell your kiddos they're epic. Be like, hello, small Rikus. You're epic. And they'll be like, gosh, parental figure.
That's pretty poggers of you to say.
Tell your kids that's what they sound like now. I've decided on behalf of them. Be like, hey kids, remember the funny internet man said you go like,
I think actually I sound like this now.
what's up, Bubby? Bubby, would you like to go outside? Would Bubby that I'm watching like to go outside? You went out back real quick. They like your bunny icon. Aw. Oh, I like bunnies. So, feelings mutual. We can share. I mean, do they remember breakfast at Tiffany's? Because that would be at least one thing we've got. I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's? And she said, I think I remember the film. And I said, evil doctor with the rad genius and bad minions. And then it kind of devolved from there. The doctor with bad minions. It was a cat. I mean, it could be a lot of things. I do my best to make the animal characters I draw look like animal characters, I'm not saying I'm successful. But, like, some classic cartoon figures do not look like their supposed character. To be frank with you. So... That's why so I actually, I was introduced to Sonic with the adventure designs in mind, even though I prefer the like, you know, 2D titles and everything. But that being said, the one thing I'm mad about is that for like Amy and stuff, they changed her quills to look more like a haircut. And like fucking like the quills, all the Sonic designs are like hyper simplified two-dimensional shapes of what those animals actually look like. If you change Amy's quills, she is no longer a hedgehog. She is Amy Pink Girl. She is Amy Maybe Cat. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a hedgehog anymore. I hate to break it to you, Sonic fans. Amy, not a hedgehog. The truth come out. Amy, not a hedgehog. See, this is why. This is why people don't come to the streams. They click in and they're like, what the fuck is he saying? And you want to know something? That is a valid question. Completely understandable why you'd ask that. Be confused in the first place. Why have I forgotten how legs are drawn? Man, you know, for someone who's been trying to draw a lot more recently, like that's how I've been using Fossil Boy. Is in general, I'm just kind of using it to push myself to draw more, as well as I reasonably can. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I put a hard time limit on myself, so it can't be like a painting that takes forever. But it's like, I did this in an amount of time and it looks pretty good. Need more legs. You're right, this child needs several legs. But anyway, I'm trying to, you know, because that's a big thing in art. It's just like, just draw all the time forever. You'll eventually get very good at it. And with that in mind, I'm like, okay, I'll do my best, Dad. I need to... The leg would get wider as it goes back to the stump. You know, the good old fucking... The body stump. You know what I mean. We've all got one. The body stump. Where all your parts go in. I remember watching Soul Surfer, and she was like, "Oh dang, my stump! I only got the stump left. No more arm." I heard she's problematic now, which granted is not a reason to lose an arm. It is just like gossip I heard. I will say, regardless of what the actual lady is like nowadays, I think one thing that movie did well is like, they really did a great job at not selling you on the prosthetic arm. I don't know how many people have seen Soul Surfer. It was okay, you know. It was a dramatic recreation of actual life events. It wasn't necessarily groundbreaking, but it was like something to watch when it was on and when it came out. Regardless, there's a scene in it where after she loses her arm to a shark, like a company, because like she's a semi-professional surfer, and they're like, we'll give you a prosthetic arm, and that'll help for sure, only for that prosthetic arm to basically be nearly useless. Like, she can't actually use it to like prop herself up or anything. It's purely for aesthetics. Like, you know, topically, since the Barbie movie is currently in theaters, it's basically just like a Barbie doll arm, which is really disturbing when you think about it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the knee-jerk reaction is just like, oh, any prosthetic arm will be good. It's like, no, that was not it, my guys. They did a bad job. It was creepy. That's my main point. If you don't like mannequins, you probably wouldn't like, you know, that specific thing. Whether you were getting it or just in general kind of watching the scene. It's no wonder she was very upset by it. At least in the dramatic recreation. Again, I know very little about it in real life besides a rumor I heard once. I really just feel like I gotta asterisk a lot of things now. You know? Just be like, listen. I think I heard this. If not, do your own research. That's such a big... Everyone should know. If you learn nothing else on the internet, it's just like, if you really care about something enough to like try and say it as facts sometime later down the line, probably do a bit of your own looking up. Don't just take it from one source, no matter where or who it is. Hello, Juice. Juice, join your son. Merge with your son. I love Juice. Okay, so Juice, I gotta stop recounting TikTok. I'm joking. I gotta stop recounting TikToks, but Juice did send me one today, and it was people looking. It was people looking at the covers for the different Dragon Ball series because it was like in a store where they had them on a DVD and stuff like that, like first bit of Dragon Ball and second bit of it, and then it had GT and Super. And I love how Dragon Ball Z and Super were multiple discs, but Walmart, was it Walmart? I thought it was Target, honestly, but maybe that's just because I was in Target today. That's something that, yeah, I woke up at like 5 o'clock this morning, and I was like, well, I need to pick some stuff up at Target, so as soon as it opened, I was headed on over there. But regardless, oh yeah, but GT is only like 60 episodes, so whereas like each of the other DVDs for the other parts of Dragon Ball had episode numbers on it, GT was like the complete series, and I was like, damn, they really did GT dirty. Nothing I could say could hurt GT more than its physical release saying the complete series when every other part has episode numbers on it. Nothing could hurt GT fans more. Also, that's the other thing, because I mean, I quote Super Eye Patch Wolf a lot in listening to his video essays, because I think the major thing I've gotten from them is learning about making of comics and kind of comic philosophy, which again, that like, you know, I think he would even profess to himself like he doesn't make comics professionally, so maybe do a bit more than just watch his videos to try and make one, but still helps a lot when he's explaining how different manga do a fantastic job at like just pulling you into the world and story and action. And I think it's interesting because to a degree I'm kind of treating Fossil Boy like some storyboards and stuff like that. Like, that's how I'm trying to kind of get the action out there. And I've always heard that Dragon Ball GT fights in the actual action can be lacking. And I imagine that is in part because you can kind of use comics in any adaptation like a storyboard. Not necessarily what they're for, but you can, you know, in some ways use them like that. At which point, fucking, you know, Toriyama made some fantastic storyboards for the original Dragon Ball. And then GT was just like, because he wasn't really involved in it. I think, I mean, you know, even though I'm more into Super, I think at the end of the day, GT and Super share a lot of the same issues, which is that more like storyboard. Okay, well, I'll just stop streaming Stealth. Storyboard, more like storyboard. Like, if that's how you feel, man, like, that's fine. But I can just go. Every day I wake up. You know? And, like, I don't... But go off, queen. But yeah. Again, I remember seeing a thing a long time ago, just like, I mean, basically just like a tweet being like, comics are not your way to pitch an idea. They're an art form in their own right. That's true. But I do also think comics can benefit from adaptations. And more so, one of the biggest benefit from comics is that it can be, which is iPatch Wolf says a lot, is, you know, they're a type of media, visual media, which can actually be like theoretically produced by one person regularly, as opposed to like animation, which would take a single person, no matter what method they're using, a very long time to complete. Or, you know, what else? The video game, I guess. That would take longer, honestly. But, you know, like, a comic, you can reasonably say, like, I'm going to make a comic, and it's going to be out every X, Y, and Z, and yada, 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 and that's completely reasonable to say. So while that can lend it some strengths, then I think it's also fair to be like, and this deserves an adaptation, because now instead of just one person doing it, we've got a team of people out here to help make a bigger production out of this already amazing source material. Which is why I'm always like, hey, do you want to get into One Piece? Read the manga. Do you not want to get into One Piece? Read the manga. Because to me, even if the anime is super good, and it definitely is in some places, I'm not gonna stop saying that One Piece is like Lord of the Rings more so than it's like any other shonen anime. And it's as if the Percy Jackson, not the Percy Jackson movies. What is Peter Jackson? Wow, it's as if the Percy Jackson movies. It's as if, you know, the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings got made, and they were just like, and every Lord of the Rings fan collectively said, this is okay, but you should really read the book. And I mean, some will still say that, because Tolkien puts in a bunch of stuff, a bunch of somewhat superfluous details, but nonetheless help to flesh out the world and everything. And that's besides the point that I do believe there are some different story beats in the book as compared to movies. But still, everyone's like, Lord of the Rings movies, masterpieces, amazing works, fantastic adaptations of their source material. But I'd argue if critically they left stuff to be desired, then people would still be putting at the books more often. And that's how I feel about One Piece. Is that if you're just like, the anime is too long, then it's great too. Yeah, no. I just think, I'm not saying, well, that's the thing, I'm not saying it's bad. I just adore the anime. I am hyperbolizing a bit, just because, again, a lot of people's go-to thought of method of consuming the story is the anime. And I'm like, but wait, the manga's super well made, visually pretty consistent, well paced. I could just say Dressrosa, and even then Stealth would be like, okay, you got me there, because he was the one who came to me about that. Like, hey Kay, he'll be thankful you're reading it and not watching it. Yeah, because I love the animation they've been doing lately. Dressrosa. Well, I was saying, because I was taught, Stealth was like, the anime is good, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying Juice loves Dressrosa, as they should. I'm glad, because fucking, I feel like there's so many highlights I think of before the time skip But after the time skip, I'm like, what's going on before Wano? And then it's like, there's stuff going on. There's Dressrosa. There's Whole Cake Island. I love Whole Cake Island. I love Big Mom. I love Mama. But yeah, Zodef exists. Well, it's not really an arc. Zoe isn't really an arc. It's just like it has an amazing moment. It's just nothing's really happening. They're literally just like, okay, we're gonna like stay at this animal-themed hotel for a minute before we continue on to the world-changing events we're planning. That's for me. No, I agree. And also, two of the characters who get introduced in that like chapter is so cool. That is, well, Crunchyroll's organization of One Piece is a whole different thing. That's not on the people who make the anime. Honestly, I was just gonna say that, like, you know, it's just because I've noticed for sure One Piece's art style changes over time, but that's still different from the way animation changes in looks over time. You have what I think is the super charming pre-time skip, very old school anime look, which I think I love it. I love Luffy versus Crocodile, how the whole Alabasta arc looks, blah 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 blah. And then you have like after time skip, where now we're in the digital age, so fucking, you know, it's all pretty brightly colored. Everything's got that sheen to it, which I could take or leave, but you know, it's there, and some of it definitely looks pretty great. And now you're finally in like the current age where they're really just going nuts with it. That's great, but I will say this is not so much a criticism as much as it is an observation. It can lead to some inconsistent animation, and I'm not even talking about the quality of animation. I'm literally saying the sakuga, as all you weeb like to call it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love it. Like, you know, any adaptation that takes the liberties to really go whole ham on the medium it's adapting the material into is fantastic. I'm just saying, it's just like, if you want to see the fight in a singular artistic style. There's the one guy who's done a lot of it. He did one of Luffy's like comebacks into the Kaido fight. I won't say who it is. It's the Luffy Yamato combo, if you know the one I'm talking about. And like, I recognize him animating right away, because all of a sudden the entire scene looks different. And it's fine. It's less a criticism, more an observation. I love how those scenes look. It is literally just like, if you wanted to see it in a singular unified style, then the manga would still be the place to go. And also, listen, I don't want to be a negative Nancy. If they do all live action One Piece, honestly, I'm kind of here for it, because again, me comparing it to Lord of the Rings, it deserves more than one adaptation. But I don't know what they're gonna do when 100 episodes down the line we're fighting 27-foot tall grandmas and dragon men. Like, Arlong in the trailer, I kind of like how he looks. Again, because he's he's a guy in like a makeup and a suit instead of CGI. But already he's just like, that looks a little weird. And fucking Arlong is by far not the wackiest concept. They're gonna have a hard time. Because that was like their big reveal, you know? They're just like, yeah, Arlong, he's real. And it's just like, no, you need to understand. This isn't even the tip of the iceberg. Arlong isn't the tip of the iceberg. Arlong is the frickin' mist coming off the top of the iceberg. You gotta understand. That guy, if you don't know One Piece, if you go to the most recent big trailer they uploaded, and you look at Arlong, that isn't like he's not a weird looking guy in the One Piece world. For all intents and purposes, he is a normal looking citizen in the world of One Piece. Maybe he just looks kind of like a tough biker dude. Like, that's to the extent of how weird he looks in One Piece. And already they're bringing out all the stops for him. So, I don't I don't know what they're gonna do when we get to, like, the really wacky looking people. I mean, obviously there's gonna be some compromises in that department. Oda actually went on record recently and be like, no, there were no compromises in at least the narrative of the live action, even if it will be a little different from the anime or manga. Which, I mean, like, again, fair. It's a different adaptation. Completely understandable, but visually there has to be. Because One Piece is a manga filled with ballpark caricatures of different people, and trying to bring that to life one-to-one is incredibly hard. Look awful, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? How do they do Shirahoshi? Exactly. Should they do Shirahoshi juice? What I would argue, maybe they should make that just a giant animatronic. I don't want. She does, but that's the problem. Yes, but Jews, they're gonna need. If they have a person do that, then it's gonna be an actress whose titties are gonna be blown up to ridiculous sizes, literally. Not even by One Piece metrics. Literally. The size of your house. You know? Like, they're gonna need to. I would just be nervous for whoever they get to play Shirahoshi. I love her. I love that she's like the... What? Well, she's really just the second Princess Luffy bullies. But, like, third overall Princess Luffy meets and befriends. Oh, I forgot. Riku's kids, cover your ears. Riku, I'm sorry. Riku, I'm sorry. Listen, I try not to be like, you know, I try not to be overtly adult, but adult concepts are still gonna make their way into the stream. But yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I would just argue, as is the case, it's so hard because I'm so staunchly against like live action remakes of Disney. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's everywhere. I'm so staunchly against the live action remakes and stuff and like Disney, but that's not even necessarily what I'm saying here. I would just say of the myriad of adaptation of mediums you could adapt One Piece into, I would argue that fucking live action is one of the weaker choices. It is almost staunchly against the idea of adapting it into live action. So, but you know, they got Oda doing it, which is better than Netflix Avatar because the original creators left that. I imagine if Oda has poured so much of his everything into One Piece, I imagine if the live action was going to really just not be anything he wanted, he would have let us know in some way at this point. So, and I mean, they're doing their best to buy a bunch of goodwill with like the original VA of Luffy handing the new kid a straw hat, with dedicating so much of their time to getting the props where it's due. Okay, let's give them this. In an age where we're still very, very iffy about properly representing cultures in different characters, they went out and bothered to get, as far as I know, like at least accurate, accurate people to what Oda said the Straw Hats would be in real life in terms of like nationality and stuff like that. Like he was like, Luffy's Brazilian, and they got a Brazilian actor to do Luffy. So, like, we credit where it's due there. British Sanji. Well, listen. I'm sorry, Britain. You get the grossest straw hat, and I know, Britain. I know. You get bullied a lot, Britain. Britain. I'm sorry, Britain. I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry. I'm a little sorry. Yeah, I'm not sorry. But there was really, Britain, you gotta understand, there was really just no other choice. We either made Sanji British, American, or he wasn't in the show. No one else would have taken him. Whee! Oh my lord. Honestly, I feel like I should see how it looks. I feel like I should just go for it in terms of like going from pose 1 to 2. Really make them blast off the screen. But yeah. I know. I still like it. Oh, that's someone, I think it was because if you know anything about One Piece. Again, has my channel just become completely inaccessible? I should text Max. I'm gonna text Max because they've talked about just being like, yeah, I have no interest in One Piece. Max, question. I am live. Shout out to Juice. Can we get a shout out to Max 2 was taken? Important. As my recent OP obsession alienated people like yourself from stream. I mean, I'm not gonna stop talking about it in this stream. I'm just gonna try to rein it in the future. Answer honestly. I won't be hurt. I promise. Love you. I know. What was the thing? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, because like, if you don't know anything about One Piece in terms of social media presence or really just anything, then you might not know that there are currently 2 separate bearded creators on TikTok who make like One Piece explanation videos. Fly source. And one of them talked about how like, no. Gotcha. You're a sweetie. The best. They said no, so. Again, if anything, I hope it's like Lord of the Rings. I talk about random lore from a series maybe you've never watched or care about, but you're still just like, neato! More so than just like, oh, this again. In terms of general internet and stuff. But regardless, what else was I thinking of? Boop, boop, boop. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, like, one of those 2 creators on TikTok mentioned, it's like, Sanji is my least favorite Straw Hat, largely because of, like, the pervert trope and everything. And I subscribe to that. I like Brook more, and Brook kind of shares in that, but he has a very specific joke. which is can I see your underwear? And I think that's better for two reasons. One, it's just a specific type of pervert, and two, Brook was alone on a ship for 50 years. He has lost his entire mind, so a bit more understandable than Sanji. But it would be like, you know, you watch Avatar, and everyone loves the main cast of Avatar, but Sokka was a misogynist in like the first half season of Avatar. So if you say Sokka is not my least favorite Avatar character, but he's my least favorite member of the crew because of that, then it'd be like, oh, okay. There's a very slim margin of like, you know, of ranking. But so, yeah. Also, probably helps he can't bleed from his nose. But like, you know, because he's literally being a gentleman. Anyone who abides by his request, he gets very giddy, sips his tea, and says thank you. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of same stuff. It's just process of elimination with Sanji for me. So, yeah. But so, listen. I will say this. Constant L. Okay, minor spoilers. I think I might have said this before, but minor spoilers for the most recent arc of One Piece, which is when there's a big fight between two of the top bad guys and Sanji and Zoro. Like, Zoro's getting all his cool moments as he's been for a minute now. And then Sanji literally comes running in with the rage of 1,000 suns. And I can just imagine him thinking, be like, I'm not going to get shown up again. He's like, I am third in command here. I'm going to get my W. They animated that beautifully. Like, that part of that fight in particular. That very little just running sequence. I was just like, oh, guys, you did great. Congratulations. I feel like that just a little bit of personality highlighted Sanji's and Zoro's rivalry, which is great. You're saying he's third. Well, maybe he should. Well, technically, Stealth, he's fourth now. There are 3 other Straw Hats, including his captain, with higher bounties than him. And he can kick me to death all he wants. He knows it's true. If anything, I'm being nice at this point. He still made me cry during Whole Cake Island, though. No spoilers, but if you're like, I don't like Sanji, you get to Whole Cake Island just like a little bit. You'll be like, oh, Sanji. It's okay. But yeah. Listen. If you're like, KL, I don't want to get into One Piece, then at least watch Pirates of the Caribbean for me. Pirates of the Caribbean is ironically, despite being 3 movies, one of which is about 3 hours long, is a much shorter watch than One Piece. It has I think it has great. I like how its world build. I genuinely like how its world building is like vague. I remember, like, I was hearing the other day about just like if you really explain your magic system, it stops being magic. You know what I mean? And Pirates of the Caribbean is very good because they never really explain the magic system. There is magic. It's like tied to emotions. Probably a lot of the time. But like it's just generally like the entire ocean is magic. That's all. Some people know how it works. That's all you need to know. We actually get for the one, like, I guess you could call them a mage character in Pirates of the Caribbean, we legitimately get an explanation towards the end of the series as to how she knows so much about how the sea works and how magic in the ocean works. So that, like, the part I would argue that needs explaining, how do you specifically get it to work? that gets explained, which, you know, pretty cool. I call bullshit on Juice's thing. If we're just talking as friends right now, Juice, I could pull out the receipts. Juice, you know I could pull out the receipts. Sanji can be annoying. He can be a lot of things. You've loved worse men. You know you've liked worse men. And what? This one doesn't deserve your forgiveness? Because he's got swirly eyebrows? You absolute hypocrite. If there's one thing Dylan Cahill can't stand, it's a hypocrite. You take a moral, you stand by that. Do not back down. Do not double side. No, 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 no. My good friend Juice, one of my best friends I've had in my entire life. Eiichiro Oda took the time to write out 10 amazing characters, and you're gonna hold it against one of them that he's kind of annoying and pervy? When you've loved villains, I mean, one of the main ones right now is Miguel O'Hara, and I'm still not over that. I'm not convinced, if you've seen Across the Spider-Verse. So, Spider-Man 2099 is really never like a villain in the comics. Like, he's antagonistic. He's a prick. But like, he's not, you know, he's not out there like killing dudes, you know. Well, bad guys maybe. He's an anti-hero, but you know, he's being a prick. But in Across Spider-Verse, he almost just completely goes villain. And also, I'm not convinced he's practicing what he preaches. I am almost positive Miguel O'Hara has not gone through any of the events he's making other Spider people go through. I think he's just really being a dickhead about it. So. Oh, wait. I'm gonna make it... We're gonna have a... Because I want there to be one flame where there's like a water blast behind him and everything. I want there to be a hydro pump. I literally... Like, okay, if nothing else, if the high horse film industry world will not give me anything else, I want them to give me this specifically. Pokemon, especially some of the classic movies and newer series, have given us a wealth of references for how different elements should look. If you need to know how, like, a good way to animate water in motion, fire in motion, electricity in motion, shadow in motion, like any of it, look up a animated Pokemon fight. They've done it all, which is one reason they've had such a it's always been a source of inspiration for me. Also, I was like, what is Juice quoting there? And I was like, they're quoting Hosier. Because gay. But you see, sometimes I fit into those stereotypes my friends like me to put in, and sometimes I don't. The only Hosier song I know is Take Me to Church, because that was all that was on. But I'm not a music person. But still. Go Gadget, Horse Catapult. But anyway, yeah. Wind, just like, there's a million things Pokemon have animated in a bunch of different ways, where even if you're not going to do the same angle, shot for shot and everything, to kind of like, you know, actually, what was I thinking of? I need to like, do a lot of stuff. Also, Deja's, I'm gonna. I need to react to something. But yeah. Fucking Pokemon will always be a source of inspiration in the animation world for me. And it's hard to feel ashamed about that. I won't feel ashamed about that. Say it.
I like Pokemon, and I'm proud.
Louder.
I like Pokemon, and I'm proud.
Louder.
I like Pokemon, and I'm proud. I like Pokemon, and I'm proud. I like Pokemon, and I'm proud.
Is that what they're calling it nowadays? Okay, I think... Man. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but remember when this song got put in Smash? And a certain gaming news outlet, which is already just like, oh, good. But they reported that there was a very naughty word at one point in this song, and everyone's just like, if you go on the lyrics on like Spotify, you can see what it is. Wild. Anyone was like, we can get away with that. I think I can pull it off. Okay, so theoretically, because I was like, how is the water going? Because like, even though this is a wild thing to be happening in the first place, you know, a water gun launches a child into the air. We still want to have some, like, suspension of disbelief. So it's like, how does it propel him off the ground? Well, there has to be a constant stream of water going onto the ground. And I was like, how does that move across the screen with him? And I think I've got it. With any luck, you know, we'll get something with it. I'm doing my best, you know? I never said I was perfect. But at least give me credit for trying to be a good mom. I remember when you were just an egg. And I had to sit on you in a nest for many a day. Yeah, that's right. Here's some Cahill lore for you. Cahills lay eggs, I guess. I guess that's what we can go with. That'd be fun. I mean, I am a rabbit, and for some reason at some point, fucking, they're like, yep, Easter, the non-religious version will be eggs and rabbits, and they're like, that seems, I don't think that has anything to do with each other. And they're like, no, it does. And then a Hop the movie came out, and we found out that rabbits laid chocolate eggs. Y'all remember, I will never get over, that is one of my favorite specific internet heritage posts. Because I don't think Disney's necessarily, well, I do kind of think Disney's the cream of the crop at theme parks, but mostly Disneyland. Like, I'm specifically, I'm not like Disney World, yeah, no. I'm saying Disneyland. But there's a post comparing floats in Disney and Universal, and one is like, do you want to see a real fire-breathing dragon? Which, that's never backfired. Walk down Main Street and roar at you? And then one's a picture of the rabbit from Hop playing drums on a float. And it's like, y'all remember Hop? 2011? Okay, so, Riku, what you need to know is that in the year 2011, Universal Studios released... You know, remember the Alvin and the Chipmunks phase? of films where people would like take a very it's like shitty Roger Rabbit, where people would take a a heavily CGI cartoon character and have it act in the real life. Hop was a movie where it was that, and the heavily CGI character, for the most part, was just this like little rabbit, and he was the son of the Easter Bunny. But he didn't want to be the son of the Easter Bunny, he wanted to play drums. So he leaves Easter Island. I do think they went for that joke. Of course they did. Where it's like, the Easter Bunny lives on Easter Island. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I do that. And he leaves that and goes to real life New York City, where he meets up with some famous actor. I forget who. Didn't he poop jelly beans too? He did a lot of stuff. And like, he's trying to get famous, but meanwhile, the chickens, who are, as we all know, chickens are second in line for the Easter mascot title. So the second in command, German, I believe it is in fact a German chicken, is secretly back on Easter Island while the Easter Bunny is trying to find where his son is. This German chicken is trying to orchestrate a coup to take over Easter and make the chickens the number one in charge. And of course it coup d'etats as the son manages to kind of run into these plans while being away from home and stops the German chicken, a cockle-doodle if you will. A cockle-doodle coup, if you will. Ah, there. Yeah, like as tends to be the happens with these stories, the son, while trying to discover himself away from home, stops the evildoer's plans, somewhat on purpose, somewhat on accident, and then thus ends the movie. And I guess he's okay with drumming and being the Easter Bunny now. Is the moral. And the moral of the story is, of course, you know, it's like, yeah, no, I mean, the Sonic movie, while very good for what it is literally just that trend, you know? So, because I don't know if you were here at the start of the whole thing, but Sonic movie is literally the trend of CGI animal companion in real life. I'm trying to... Sal, do you know what a hydro pump in the Pokemon anime looks like? Because I'm tempted to make his thing look like a hydro pump. You know where it's got the white swirls around it? I could make it like a... I could try and make it like... Because... we have... in the game as pillars. Give me 1 second. Let me... We're doing a thing. Look at me. Look at me. Look at us. Look at us doing a thing. I'm gonna look it up. Browse. Yes, this one. Yep, here we are. Okay. How about... I'm trying to... There is that one episode where they have the one Pokemon doing it in like a sports competition. So really quickly, let me just look up Vaporeon Water Sports. in Google with the safe search turned off, and we'll see what we get there. Anyway, hydro pump. I hope that made someone laugh. I thought it was clever. It's an overused meme, but shut up. I thought it was clever. It's not on Stream Juice. I'm trying to make this my job. I will literally get fired from my job for doing that. Trying to make me look that up online. Okay, let's watch it. Like, yeah. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. Sal, for your there is Vaporeon doing it. I fucking screw that meme. That meme has like no basis, even in it fundamentally wrong. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go to this level of detail because the first like kind of water stream we had. Shut up, Juice. The first kind of water stream we had, I purposely kind of wanted to make it look like a hose. No, I forgot. Yeah, I need to redo those shots still. Yeah, like you can see right here, I've drawn it like trailing off and everything. But it's just very like, if it made a mechanical noise, it'd go pada 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 pada. So it's still gonna be kind of like a solid blue stream like this, but for this, what I would do is on top of the solid blue stream, there would be, I just realized no one could see what I was just doing there. But anyway, but like instead, it'd still be the same like blue color as the rest of the water, but it'd also have these swirls around it. Yeah, repeating waves. And I think that also helped. Because, I mean, this is just what I think of when I think of a powerful water stream. And that's what we need, is a powerful water stream that's helping him blasting off again. Sick. I'm glad to have Sal's go ahead. I'm gonna do my best, Sal. You just watch. Yes. Again, shout out to Sal. Shout out. You feel free to link Half Pint anywhere in the... I'm sure to think it's super. But seriously, I stand by it. Whenever I am done my eye catchers, whether it's permanently or just for a while, I'm probably just gonna be keeping up with the comic because I'm like, it's still a neat idea. And we don't, and I like supporting fellow artists and comic makers. The Kuda Burst, the Super Radical Beam. Yeah, both. Both. I imagine if he's doing like a radical beam with water, then he's just cutting his way through the yard. Manipulate. Oh, you're right. Sal, I was so silly. You're right. Nipple lasers. Yeah. So the plan here is boop, boop. Just a cage of like just a cage of bones, you know what I mean? So really rough to show Sal at least. What I'm planning is just like that the wrong color. I need black. Oh, that's also not black in that. I've mixed my colors. Anyway. So like literally just like pillar, and then down here we'll have like this and an even bigger thing behind it. Sal, I really hope that in line with power scale, let me just pitch you something. Because, for example, I was talking to friends before about Ed, Edd, and Eddy, right? And I love Ed and Eddy. You never see the parents on that show, and that's even better. I would like this series to get to a point where they are just destroying backyards, like real property damage. Like the power scaling gets really out of control for little kids, but we really never see the parents. And there's no real consequences, and I don't see that as a narrative flaw. I see that as a I see that as a bonus. I see that as fun. Sometimes you don't write the thing that makes sense. Sometimes you write the thing that's cool and fun and sexy, like just a little bit. That's what they were thinking when they wrote Frankie. Also, this is what I'm saying. Heck yeah! Heck yeah! This is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff that gets me excited about the comic. Cause legit, I'm like I hope, cause like I could rag on Fortnite for the most part. I like the game. So when I took the sponsored stream, legitimately, I was like, I enjoy this game. Consider giving it a chance with your friends. You probably would like it too. And same with this comic. I hear stuff about it, I'm like, this seems cool. I'm excited about it. So, everyone go support Sal in his comic. It's neato. It's good. I love a power creep. I love a overarching story in any series. Heck yeah. I will be real, Sal. I don't know. Just like, you know. We'll see how... I just don't want to leave you waiting with more eye catchers. I'm doing my best to pump them out. But still, like I said. However many I do. Yeah, we want to keep it in line with like the arm and stuff. Almost look like he has a jetpack behind him, which is basically what we're going for. As opposed to this, which is more of Pete. But yeah, I appreciate your patience again. Another reason why I'm like, go support them. They're neat. I'm trying to think. It should probably be the little rings of water around it should probably be like vertical. Yes. Well, I think that's a good idea. And I mean, again, you've talked about One Piece being an inspiration for it, and that I don't know if you purposely have kind of done that with the writing style, but that's how he did it. He was just like, I know they're going to get to the One Piece at some point. What happens in between that is kind of, but I'll figure it out. We'll get there. So you just gotta keep on your toes. I mean, that's me with my comic, you know. Where it's like, I'm doing my best to constantly be pushing what I'm doing in my own art. So with that being said, I think that kind of is the best way to do it. If you're gonna do the I don't know what the next step is, but it's gonna be good, then you just always want to be on your toes. Never get into the groove of things. Ginger. Oh, the puppy I'm watching is sleeping. Little thing. I'm not gonna leak my IP where I am or whatever. But little detail about the puppy I'm dog sitting right now is that as I've been dog sitting them, they've been just kind of, when I let them out, they're usually right in front of the door, near this house and everything, just kind of chilling out on the porch. But today, as days was over, I let them out, and I'm like, I'm kind of concerned. It's a little dark outside. I don't want them to be out in the store. I'm like, well, let me go check, and I could not find them. They were hiding behind a bush, and I wasn't at the point of I'm so screwed, but I was just like, oh no. I was like, puppy, please show up relatively soon.
about your game. Never see it coming. So yeah, bought some white foam this year. Again, we're taking. I'll be doing animation test tomorrow and stuff like that, which is the stuff I have to show Sal. But I'll literally just like. It's a bit of a time saver because I can make one ring, copy and paste. I can animate it kind of like undulating. You know how rings undulate. One ring undulating. Copy and paste it down the tube of water a bunch of times. Make that look like it's moving. And then copy and paste that as he moves across the screen. So, listen, we're making moves. Where? Oh, okay, I was about to say. Have I not? Man, I don't want to go. This is... I'm literally just like, I need to make streaming. I think it's interesting because I talk to people who are like, I don't want streaming to be a job, but that's kind of what makes me want to see if I can make it happen. Because I'm literally just like, I could do this forever, every night, and I think it would be the best use of my life. Genuinely. I was made for the stage, Papa. Broadway is calling me. No, son, get back in your cage. But, Papa... Back in the cage! I told you. You get to come out on Easter to watch Hop 2011 and nothing else. You watch Venture Bros? I do not. I still need to watch Ventures with Superman. The problem is, HBO Max is not the best service. And the idea of booting it up, I was just like, but I need to watch it. But nah. Is there something in particular I should know about Venture Bros? I mean, I'm always up for hearing about a good animated show. Lay it on me. Well, now. Listen. This made me think of what they do. My mom actually, I mean, so as much as I definitely feel the pressure of get a job in the degree you got, and I again, if I get streaming as a thing, I count that. But anyway, yeah. But my mom is always super supportive, and she was like, try voice acting, and I'd be like, honestly, I don't mind it. I mean, I could do my best to do different impressions of different characters, see if I could make that a reel. I feel like we've talked before about just like, don't, like, writing, for example. Writing is like a super personal thing. So asking people, hey, do you want to see what I wrote? Like, you should be really good friends with them. I don't know what level of comfortable I would need to be with my friends to be like, judge my voice acting. That's something you're okay with doing, right? No, I think I would just wing it. You know?
No. I've selected the wrong layer. Not 3 out of 2. Ring 2. But yeah. Let me some fun voice acting. Anyway, to touch on something very lightly. So yeah, I do think, you know, the guilds have come out and been like, yeah, you can see movies while we're striking. To, what was I thinking of? But I'm still just like, about it. And furthermore, apparently it was announced today that HBO will be taking it over the garden wall off of its streaming services. And all I'm going to say is, remember that I'm a pirate theme streamer. You know, if you want something to cheer you up about not being able to find your favorite shows on official means anymore, just remember that I'm a pirate themed streamer. And that's all I'll say about that. I'm never gonna get a job in Hollywood. Listen. I mean, granted, Owl House absolutely did not have the best relationship with its executives, but Dana Terrace came out and said she pirates her own show for when Owl House was airing, because she was like, I'm not paying for like Comcast. It's not airing on Disney Plus same day, so it's amazing. With that being said, like, again, if I have to throw my lot in with someone, which, you know, and Aaron Burr from the hit play Hamilton would suggest you not do that, but fuck him. He killed a president. Anyway, like, I would probably go with the actors and screenwriters, just because I would almost certainly get more value out of any kind of future collaboration I would do with fellow creatives rather than some executive to pay me money. I was thinking the other day, I was like, can I like donate to them? Like, if they're not getting paid right now, can we pay them? And then news came out like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has paid them like the most amount of money. I'm just like, I guess we've answered the question. Granted, I don't know if that money is going to like paying the strikers, but regardless, the funds no doubt help. When all the studios are really going to understand is money, then The Rock donating a bunch of stuff is real neat. I talked before, because, you know, I talked about Super Eye Patch Wolf and his effect on how I think about comics and stuff like that. But I was recently, as I said at one point, I was recently watching his wrestling videos, and I love how he was talking about, like, you know, I do think the thing they never say, because everyone is like, wrestling's not fake, it's scripted. The big difference you have to understand there is, if you don't know, is that they're really getting like punched in the stomach and thrown off tables. It's just that the fight in general has a certain way it's supposed to go. You know, there's not really stakes on who wins the fight, but a real actual man will be thrown from a 12-foot tall ladder, which is, if you can't respect them as stuntmen, and stunt women at least, then I don't know what to say to you, because That's impressive. But I like Petrolf talked about how, you know, like sometimes since it is like an act, sometimes your personality doesn't work out with the audience, at which point you just kind of switch it. Like wrestlers will just change who they are as a wrestler in order to... I want to see someone. Oh shit. Oh, uh-oh. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that'll look great. Especially when I have this big splash effect at the bottom. Anyway, it's just fun to hear like, yeah, that didn't work out, so they just stopped being that that's supposed to be real person and started being someone else. It's like neato. Stream 1, but not Twitch stream, water stream. So I don't think I'll ever get into wrestling, just because it's almost like Doctor Who, and that is cheesy and incredibly long. And I was into Doctor Who for a while, so that's not necessarily a not selling point. Rather, it's more the case of it's a lot of content to consume. I wouldn't know where to start. Some problematic stuff. I can't say for Doctor Who, but for, you know, for wrestling, absolutely. And at that point, I'm just like, Would Persona 5 get good views on the channel? Maybe. Maybe it would. And it's not pirate themed. Literally your first party member is pirate themed. Yahar. We beat the final boss with Ryuji only. For real? Hold on. You're gonna beat the game with me? For real? I swap out every member who could have any story important reason to be in a fight. Just Ryuji. I do love him. Like, I do love a lot of his stuff in Royale. You know, the team attacks they made, where different characters do a little thing together. His stuff with like Makoto and etc. etc. All very fun. Who did his voice? I want to check something. Max Middleman. Man, that sounds like a fake comic persona. He's Travis Touchdown? That's something else I should play. Because, like, Xenoblade would take a while to do on stream. I'm sorry, Pig. Xenoblade would take a while to do on stream. But, I've never played No More Heroes, and the fact it was originally on Wii interests me. Which, so I wouldn't mind like going through the series on it. But there's a lot of series I could go through on stream. I could go get Pikmin right now. We can start streaming Pikmin. But probably not. I legit, because, you know, talking about trying to take streaming more seriously. I am thinking far more about like what kind of games I stream. And for many, many reasons, I really think Bloodborne. Especially a stream of it where I'm not being a moron. I'm actually showing it's like, hey, I'm good at these games. Which no one will be able to believe, but... like... I think that would end up being better than any other game at the moment. I'll probably do an Elden Ring challenge run. Was thinking of. If I could lay out, I'm sure Juice is, if Juice is still here, they're gonna be like, Kale. No. If I could lay out, like, ideas I have for what, like, the next quote-unquote challenges will be, I'm just gonna do, honestly, it's probably gonna be a real quick Bloodborne series, because I really don't, like, without actually imposing a play style challenge on myself, I can't imagine this game I've beaten 15 times at least will do much to stop me. I put the stupidest possible restriction on myself the first time, and even as I lifted certain elements of the restriction, I submit to you that, what the? Oh, okay. I was like, what's happening? I could not tell for a minute what was going on. But yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine. I will get my first ever platinum trophy, despite the fact that the PS4 is now an obsolete console. But shut up. I could get a PS5, and then, like, you know, and then I load up Bloodborne on it, and there's my first PS5 platinum trophy. Because you can just, that's one of the features, it's backwards compatible with a lot of PS4 games. So you're able to do that. You're able to just be like, I have Bloodborne with me, let me do that. I'll ask Stream about that later, because towards the end of the year, if we keep meeting monthly goals, I was thinking about that, and then we can play things like the Spider-Man 2, and we can play like Miles Morales Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, the Demon Souls remake, etc., etc. You know, a lot of games otherwise inaccessible to me. I remember one of the things I was thinking about is after Edge Runners came out, and people were just like, yeah, Cyberpunk the game is kind of just like better now? Question mark. I was like, I'd love to give that a chance. I don't have a machine in the world that could run it. And I was like, well, if I get a PS5 for other games, I can get Cyberpunk, and that would probably be the beefiest thing I could use to play it on. So we see. I don't know if I'd stream it, but if y'all wanted to, and if Skull and Bones comes out on it and it's good, might start streaming that. Because you know I want my good single-player pirate experiences. But again, that depends on me being successful in this second half of the year in different metrics. So, because I'm not going to be like, yep, just buy expensive thing needlessly. I'm trying to be smart. Trying to strategize. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's like Among Us. Now hold on, wait. Again, please don't go just yet. Just hear me out. Because like I know people who will take games super seriously, and while I understand taking things like what I'm talking about super seriously, life and businesses and blah blah blah, I legitimately just like thinking about and strategizing about it. It's why I've said it many times. It's why I talk shop so much on stream, because I'm just like, I think it's interesting. I'm not really bummed out as much as I am just very curious and am talking about it in real time. But yeah, I mean, even though I have plenty of games to play as is, if I got a PS5, it would be largely for the decision of like, I'm going to get some next-gen games and play them on stream. Almost definitely Miles. Because very long time ago, I played Spider-Man on stream. And jumping back let's jump back into it. If I'm jump back into it, then instead of going straight for 2, just go for miles. Like, I was also thinking about that. I was like, I think I mentioned on stream to Juice, like, do you think I could speedrun Resident Evil 2 on stream? And they're like, no. But I don't know, maybe I still will, but maybe I won't, because the stream, the big thing where I'd be like, a stream is kind of outdated if you're watching it on the VOD channel. Not necessarily bad, but just like, you know, that clearly older from a different time is if it had like not the current layout and PNG tuber and all that kind of stuff. But with that in mind, not only did those streams have the fantastic Okie Dokie on them, but also like it had my current layout and everything, so not so egregiously old that you couldn't theoretically go back and get a taste of what might be coming this summer, this Halloween for streaming. They could also just play Luigi's Mansion. Mario. But I want to play some Resident Evil. I don't have a lot of Resident Evils. All my residences are nice. I have many nice residences. I want to experience the evil ones. Bum 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 ba-dum bum ba-da-ba-da-dum. I'm gonna just do this little splat at the bottom of the screen first, and then afterwards we will do the big one behind it. I'm just trying to visualize it, you know? Just trying to think about it. Consider the following. I don't know if I wished everyone a good day, but hope you've had a good day. I hope you have a good day tomorrow. I'm going to be stuck at work for a long time tomorrow and the day after, which sucks. It sucks that that's what's about to happen, but you know, get some money, save up for those end of the year costs and everything. Again, I don't like using that excuse, but every now and then it's fine. Because I have like free time today and free time yesterday. So at that point, well, I say free time, but yesterday I was busy getting here and watching dog. But still, you know, I'm not being forced to be at work time. Oh my goodness, 13 months, that's almost a year. Paula, I don't want to say you've been ignored it, because that's Barry's thing, but also, funny 13 number. You know, the one from the series. Thank you, Paula. Actually, you know what? Well, I'm trying to think. I might make it that. For Paula. I might throw that as an option in. Because Paula... Wait. At tier 2? Hold on. Wait a minute. No one should have Kazukiss. How dare you? Also, that's insanely generous of you. Ridiculously so. I appreciate it. You almost certainly never need to, but very nice. And I hope you enjoyed Kazukiss. Give everyone big smooches all around. I will give my friends one thing. I guess what I'm seeing as its lips when I look at Kazu is actually its gums. But I still see them as big old lips. And I will not apologize for thinking that. got a big slobbery mouth. Lisps. Hello, Greg. No, lips. But yeah. Anyway, I was only gonna say, Paula, I don't want to make it just like up. You need to add a little more, but I might make Overcooked one of the options for the poll for the long stream. Just because then it's kind of two birds with one stone. You know what I'm saying? I finally get to play at least one version of those cooking games you want me to play. I'll need to figure out how to play Plate Up. I'm not sure if I can stream it for my PC, but we'll see. No, don't. Wait. Did I... How long has this been on stream? How... Let me just go to the VOD real quick. Let me just really quick go to the VOD. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, Cahill. Oh no. Oh. About 45 minutes. So for about 45 minutes now, anyone who was here, I was looking at I mean, listen, if you're okay with just looking at some high gloss JPEGs of Pokemon, then that's fine by me. I mean, it really sells my streams as more of a podcast at that point. But anyway, I mean, that's the thing, right? Because if I put on the poll, which I'll probably be putting out tomorrow with the schedule, you know, Played Up / Overcooked with friends for the long stream, then it's not going to be like, if it doesn't win, I don't do it. Or furthermore, you know, if it does win, then that's the only stream I'll do of it. It just means that we will get a long stream of Overcooked. Like, that's all it means. It's just one multiplayer option. So. So, I think what the options for the poll should be are art, board game with friends, Overcooked with friends, and then I'm trying to think. I guess you could do Bloodborne. I don't know if I want to put Hades on there. Hades on there, because I'm not sure how much value we'll get out of a super long I'll put Hades on there. There's lots of content in it. You want to know what I was thinking of? I was watching a video today where people were making controllers out of conductive material. So you just like tap a hot dog and that is a button in the controller. Heads. So no heads. And I was like, okay, but what if I did that and we played Cuphead? Maybe I make that one of the things. Let's say well, here's the thing, right? Because I use my Mac to stream now for different reasons. I'm gonna open up Steam real quick. Let's open up Steam for a second. Because what games could I put on this Mac that I could then theoretically make a hot dog controller for? We're gonna figure it out. Now's my chance to strike. No, Greg, don't strike. You're too generous. No. Okay. So besides Uno, well, wait, no, Uno I can't download on the Mac. Dang it. I'm sorry, Greg.
But we will stream Uno, don't you worry. So, I could do Cuphead, Cyber Shadow. That wouldn't be bad. Psychonauts. Slime Rancher. Honestly, those are the only games that are like heavily menu focused. So, at that point, I don't know what else we would do. I could look into what other games are on Mac. Install those. But yeah. I think that's a fun idea. Maybe we should look for easier games than Cuphead, just so like maybe I make progress in the game, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds? I already have a very special idea for golfing with friends. I could. Oh, you mean with like a weird controller? Since it already has weird controls, that's not a bad idea. Are golf balls conductive? Does anyone know? Craig, someone get our top scientist on this. I doubt it. But Greg, what if they were? What if they were for funny? To make it funny. Did you consider? But anyway, yeah. So, because obviously, if I do a menu heavy game, then it doesn't really matter what I'm using what I'm using as a controller. It more so matters, you know, if I know how to use the menus. It's more of a brain game than a physical game. I'm gonna be shit golf balls. What about my thing is not okay. So the thing on my in my preview it still had the Pokemon water reference up on stream. I had Vaporeon up on my stream for a long time. I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about that at all. Anyway, that means still I argue with the very basis of that meme, because basically all it's saying is that Vaporeon is a cup of water, which I guess so, yeah, but you could also make the same argument about a real life jellyfish, except it does have stingers. But regardless of that, there are non-stinging jellyfish. There are jellyfish that just don't moon jellies not sting? A cloaca. A mouth can be a cloaca, right? I should be reprimanding Greg for saying these things, but I was then thinking about a mouth because you can just have like one hole for all things. It shouldn't be, but I get. I mean, you say that, Greg, but you brought the specter of death upon our doorstep, so you're gonna live with the thoughts of it. You want to eat and poop popcorn out of the same hole? I'm pretty sure. Well, I bring it up because sea cucumbers do that, and like King Piccolo in Akira Toriyama's classic Dragon Ball, not Z, Dragon Ball. He vomits an egg out of his mouth, and we're led to believe Namekians don't have other holes. That's their deal. Namekians probably holeless, all things considered. So, like, with that in mind, I don't think it's as out of the question that maybe some Pokemon vomit up their eggs. That was a sentence to return to. Just one tube of a mouth of toothpaste dispenser rectum. That was also a sentence to return to. But my point, rather, Sal, was don't they just have one hole?
Are cucumbers not mono whole? I thought the sea cucumber was God's simplest creature, and that it is one hold. No, they are a hole. Oh, well, that's what I'm asking. On each end. Okay, so they have 2 holes. This is very important. That is... Okay, I'm sorry. I got a perturbing text. Something to sour the Cahill a bit, but moving on. Does a straw have? I mean, like 2. You could. I get there could be an argument here, but like I feel like I think of a hole as a 2-dimensional shape, basically. At eventually it's a tunnel, you know. So then a straw has 2, especially if you get a bendy straw, because like, not only is it not a straight tunnel, but anyway. What about a crazy straw? Crazy straws definitely only have 2 holes. Unless, because, well, if they don't, then... I was gonna say unless, but if they don't, then they're probably a bad crazy straw, you know? Like, you really need the kind of vacuum pressure in a crazy straw to make it work. Lest it all go haywire. Lest it not make the funny shape it's supposed to make. You could put some strawberry milkshake in your crazy straw, and it fills the whole thing up with a pink shape. Good times for everyone. Don't question it. What else was I thinking of? Nah, this'll look fine. I might add like some details in light blue, but like this kind of like radiating pattern should be good. It's really giving that blasting off feeling, you know? What franchise? Hello, Stitch. Oh, no. Still got stuff to do. This reminds me of the old, like, NBC logo. You know, the big peacock. That was NBC, right? I'm not very good with memorizing. I'm not a cable TV specialist. You know, honestly, I was just having a bad time a minute ago in my mind, but so many cool people showing up, I really appreciate that. Y'all are what makes streaming fun. I'm not just saying that to say that, I mean it. Guys, I mean it. So. I appreciate you being there for me. If nothing else, y'all give me something to look forward to. Every week, every time I do this. And all I need to do, even when I gifted you I am bread. Oh wait, is that all? Is that on Switch? Because I need to go check. I hope it should be. It should be on Switch or PS4, and I own both. It's not an Xbox exclusive. We've had this conversation. Yeah. No one go look it up. We've definitely had this conversation. I'll just get it on a console. To make it up for Paula. Got a lot of making up to do to Paula. The first thing I'm going to do is buy Paula a bunch of... No, don't. Don't embarrass me. First thing I'm going to do is buy Paula a bunch of roses. And then after that, I'm going to play I Am Bread. Nothing says I love you to someone like making them watch you play a game. Ruby Rose? Maybe. Could be. What? Whoa. It feels like I've been streaming for much longer than I have been. We're barely crossing 2 hours, but it's been going. I mean, I definitely need to do more after having freaking left Pokemon water moves up on the stream for so long. So doesn't seem to be on Switch. Wait, fine. Then I'll. If we've come to this conclusion, I am bread. Well, I can just look up the game and then PlayStation. It's on PlayStation 4. I'll get it on PlayStation 4, and then that device should be able to handle it. Probably. You know, like, probably. Wait 1 second. I feel like I need to, like... Because I still have bit emotes to make. I feel like I should make some real bit emotes I'm gonna use a lot, but it can be hard to make an emote like where you're like, yeah, and this one I'll use plenty when it's not just like that's not just something someone else has already made. In some respect. Captain Tractor. I don't think I've ever. I don't know if I've even heard of Captain Tractor. I'll be real with you, Paula. You're scaring me. Captain Tractor. All I'll say, Paul, is that you're a tractor. Get it? It's like you're handsome. Oh, he could be a model. I think I need to. I think I've cornered myself with this little spike right here. Oh. Okay. And that should be good. Not to strike?
I don't know what you're saying, Greg. I'm gonna be real. Support the strike. Support writer strike. Ugh. Oh, my throat. Got a frog in my throat. Okay. I'm going to boop boop boop. I gotta turn up all these. All the. I struck. Wait, what? I gotta say, Greg, if you have gifted me something on stream, first off, I will thank you. And then second off, I don't know if I've made it clear that I can't really stream games on my PC. But I hope you know that, and that no matter what, I appreciate it. Well, I seem to have received a gift. Donut Country. Oh, this looks funny. Oh, I see what you're doing. I gotcha. That is ever growing. Oh, this seems neat. Greg, wait, real quick. We'll do this on stream. Greg, should I accept it if you know I will probably not be able to stream it anytime in the near future? Yes or no? Go, Greg. Yeah, sure. Okay. I want to make sure. Thank you, Greg. Oh no. I almost ended stream by accident. I pressed the wrong quit. It's a good thing they confirm with that. Also, did you put that in the Discord, Paula? I want to make sure real quick. Oh, you did. I do need to listen to that. That's my bad. Okay, that's what you're talking about. You got it. I'll listen to that after stream as I'm wrapping stuff up. Don't you worry. I promise to you. I imagine I was just scrolling through stuff last night. And what was I thinking of? And didn't realize. Oh wait, no, not that. This one. Select, expand, one, and then I will need to. Oh wait a minute. Nah, it'll be fine. I appreciate it, Greg. You're very generous. I do not deserve such a generous community, honestly. Y'all are the best. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna move this forward real quick. He's probably better, like... Oh no, I've made a mistake. Okay. Start over. Start from scratch. I need to line it up better. There we go. That's probably better. Okay. Moop-a-doo. I'm just gonna get some of these done. And then yada da. Sometimes you gotta set little goals for yourself and everything.
Yeah, I think that looks good. Heck yeah. We're getting places. Scratch isn't a water move. It can a lot of... Every Pokemon should know how to... should be able to use Scratch. It's as easy as you can get. What do? You scratch. It's so weird. Whenever... You know, okay, so people have made, like, horror art about Diglett. I like to think Diglett is just a little potato friend. But with that in mind, whenever Diglett uses Scratch, which is a move it can learn for some reason, I like to always imagine that it's just, like, rubbing its nose against you. You know the pink little nose it's got? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I just like to think whenever it's using Scratch, it's just like rubbing its nose against you, basically. And the Pokemon's like, hey, cut that out. Very, very annoying. Annoying of you to do that to me. And Diglett's like, yeah, I gotcha, Diglett. Like, I just imagine Diglett winding up, like, you know, reels its head back, and then it launches forward and just bumps you with its pink nose. That's my Pokemon headcanon. We are going to do a Pokemon Nuzlocke in the near future, and I'm gonna call it a Pokemon Potluck. Pokemon Potluck. Because you remember Paul from the Pokemon anime? The guy everyone hated? What was I thinking of? Like, I don't want to be like, and the Pokemon's dead. No. I'm going to put it in a box. The Pokemon has failed me. And now, being a jerk like Paul... I will abandon it. I'm of the opinion, if you want edgy Pokemon, go play Monster Hunter. And if you're just like, I don't want to play Monster Hunter, I want edgy Pokemon. It's like, well, too bad. Game Freak barely gives us the bare minimum of Pokemon as is. I really doubt they're about to get edgy on you. I don't know how to break this to you, kid. I need to add more height. There we go. That's much better. I want it Jade Cocoon to be bigger. My trainers aren't responsible for Rival 2 is just... That... I could get... Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. I completely... I was like, Paul, you did nothing. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Anyway. That I could kind of get behind. You know, I mean, that's kind of what Pokemon Arceus did. Where it's not really the Pokemon you gotta worry about. It's you. You as a very squishy human. Sure, you're smart. But... you need to survive in the wilderness. I'll use my handy frying pan as a drying pan. Give us some of that. That I can get behind. Pokemon leaning into like camping and surviving in the wilderness more. Okay. But turning it into blood sport, less okay. I'm less okay with this idea specifically.
Call me old-fashioned, but I don't like blood sport in my children's media. But I would prefer um, some wholesome competition between school fellows.
And then I get beat up at the schoolyard. They're like, you sound weird. I'm like,
Oh no. Hey, little you.
oh, oh my goodness. I apologize. I don't know what came over me. The illness has returned. I want to be a 19th century duchess who's dying of mysterious causes. And it's very dramatic. I'm laying in a very overly furnished and fluffy bed. I'm just like, oh dears, I'm so sorry I put you through this. The new Chris Pratt one. I have heard good things about it. To be fair, if there's one thing, I mean, again, I attribute, if I may, I attribute that a lot to the artists and stuff like that, because it's kind of like how I love how like Sonic's world and everything, like how Green Hill Zone and everything looks. You know, that's kind of what I attribute the Mario movie's success to in large part, where it's like they made the world of Mario look super colorful and wacky, kind of in line with how the games portray the environments. And I think that did almost everything for the movie versus its main character's voice acting. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we've made some real progress today, even though for 45 minutes you couldn't see any of it. It's getting late, and the only thing I have out to do after this isn't... I'm basically done with most of the drawing, unless, you know, Style is like, hey, draw a thing, and I'm like, okay. So, like, tomorrow and stuff, I will be use editing, copy pasting, moving stuff around, and then making a full-on animation. But yeah, let's find someone to raid. Again, I appreciate y'all being here. I am not joking. I talk a lot about wanting to make streaming an even bigger part of my life, because sometimes it's really just a highlight of what's going on. So I really appreciate y'all. I want to raid Bath. How often do you get a chance to raid? Yeah, that is very different, Paula. I will say. Doodle more. Okay, I thought more hours in the day. I'm gonna try. We're gonna raid Bath because they're playing Fortnite. I like playing Fortnite with my friends. I like Pokemon Go. Oh, it's Bath's birthday. Everyone go wish Bath channels they don't follow. Well, I can't. It says I'm allowed to, unless it's not about to light up. Then, okay. Well, everyone go wish Bath a happy birthday, and I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.